Hey, it's Cameron with the Atlas Strength Shop, and I am back to give y'all another video. This one is going to be on the Pioneer belt that I recently purchased. Took about 6 weeks to get in. I've had it for about 2 months, something like that. What I want to do is I want to make sure that I use this one for a good bit before I did a review on it. That way, the same thing that happened with my Noble Lifter review, where I had to do a part 2 after one of the straps broke on me, didn't happen with this video. So I put this thing through the ringer. I think that how I feel about it today is going to be how I feel about it a year from now, 2 years from now, so on and so forth. So it's time for us to do that review. What I'm also going to do is I'm going to show you where I like to wear my belt. Some people wear it a little bit different, but I'm going to show you where I like to wear it. I'm going to show you how to brace into the belt. We're also going to talk a little bit about the different kinds of belts that you can purchase from Pioneer. So yeah, let's go to the video. So this is the belt I decided to go with. It is 13 millimeters thick, 4 inches wide. I got the single prong Pioneer cut. Now what that means is, unlike most single prong belts, where it's just got one single row of holes, this has 2 rows and they're offset. Now this makes it really easy to get on and off, which is a problem a lot of these prong belts typically have. This one does not, so I really like it for that reason. I went with suede on the front and back just because I wanted to customize the hell out of this belt so it would pop in video, and so nobody would confuse it with their belt and pick it up at a competition. Should have written this belt has been stolen from Cameron rather than just putting my name on there. We got Atlas Strength Shop put on the back of it. So upon inspection, the stitching looks really good on this. All the hardware looks good. It's got a little bit of scrapes on it from wear and tear over the last month, but that's to be expected from metal on metal. All the holes have been drilled very well. And yeah, it's just a really good put together product. So now I'm going to slap this thing on. Get this out of the way. I don't know if it's in the way, but why risk it? And so I'm going to slap this on, show you where I like to wear it. Yeah, and then I'm going to show you some kind of tricks getting in and out of this if you want to get it real tight. So I like to wear my belt about, if you put like down the middle of the belt, that my belly button falls somewhere in the bottom half of it. That's a little bit higher than what some people like to wear it, but that's where I like to wear mine. So you just get this thing on, exhale, pop it in, then you're good to go. From there, when you get your belly breath, press into the belt. It's gonna make your brace very, very strong, which is really what a lifting belt like this does. A lot of people think that, especially the ones you see in like the box gyms where it's really narrow in the front and wide in the back, people wear them because they think it's going to protect their back. Really, it's to brace into it. That brace is what protects your back. This just helps facilitate that brace. So I'm going to readjust this camera angle. So I want to show you a little trick to kind of get in and out of this thing that I like to use whenever I want to get this belt really tight. So yeah, let's go ahead and cut to that. Okay, so now I want to show you a little trick that one of our members taught me. Get in and out of this thing easy. For years I've been using a lever belt, so I haven't really needed to use this. And they make a tool to kind of lever the tongue over so you can get deep into the hole and you can get belt as tight as you can. I don't have that lever though, and I don't really want to just buy a product just for getting in and out of a belt. So this technique works really well for me right now. Until I eventually decide I want to get another lever belt from Pioneer. I really like using lever belts. Alright, so you get this thing hand tight, try to move your shirt out of the way. It's not a necessity, but it's just what I do. You reach around your rack, or really anything stable, you grab the tongue, and what you're going to do is you're going to exhale and twist into it like this. And from there you can get the belt much tighter than you would normally. So I want to talk a little bit about all the excess that you get here. Depending on the lift you're doing, it's going to determine what you want to do with all the excess, or Mark Bell calls it your belt boner. For things like bench, I typically leave it. The only thing that I'll really tuck it with is I tuck it whenever I am doing stuff for the log, just because obviously you can't really roll it over the that excess belt. So I'll pull it over, that way I can roll the log up well. I've noticed on things like squats and deadlifts, this tends to get in the way a little bit. It also gets in the way a little bit if it's sticking all the way out like this. You want kind of a happy medium, so that, especially on deadlifts, so it doesn't rub up against your forearm as you're coming up and down. Probably not big of a deal, but it's super annoying for me, so I just try to get out of the way. Depending on your dimensions and the length of your belt, you're just gonna have to play with it, find that happy medium. Now to get back out of this, especially after an AMRAP set or something like that, you're not going to want to sit there and try to pull with it. You're probably gonna be out of breath. So it's just a lot easier to get it off the same way you got it on. And trust me, you're gonna wanna get it off quick after you just finish a heavy ass AMRAP set. So you're just gonna exhale, twist into it again, and you're just gonna kind of wiggle this around until it pops out. One of the cool things about the Pioneer cut and the way the prong is set up is this moves back and forth. So if you're in one prong, you can just kind of slide it over and it'll give you enough space where you can just pop that thing right out. So yeah, that's really it for the video. This wasn't a really long one. I'm going to be putting out some more movement tutorials here pretty soon. Now that I'm back in town, I got a little bit more time to sit and film. I want to do a deadlift one soon. I want to do a bench press. Another thing I want to do is I signed up for another competition. So just like I did with the Swamp Monster Shootout, I want to do movement tutorials for the events happening in that competition. So be on the lookout for that. If you got any questions, feel free to email me at Cameron@AtlasStrengthShop.com. You can also follow us on Instagram at Atlas Strength Shop, follow us on Facebook, Atlas Strength Shop. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel, and I look forward to seeing you all again soon. Y'all have a good one. So whenever I was editing this video, one thing I realized I forgot to mention were the different styles of belt that you can actually purchase from Pioneer Fitness. I got the single prong Pioneer cut. You can also get a double prong. You can get a lever belt as well. And these come in a variety of different, I guess you'd call them, finishes as well. I got the double suede because that's when you can probably get the most customization out of. You can get the embroidery on the inside and the outside. They also have some that are just leather that you can stamp into. You can get them stained. Lots and lots of options that are available. My belt ran me about $240, somewhere thereabout. That's probably about what you can expect to spend on your belt, but it's worth it, and from what I can see, it's probably gonna be the last belt I ever buy. So again, if you have any questions, please feel free to email me at Cameron@AtlasStrengthShop.com, and don't forget to follow all of our socials, which I talked about in the previous scene. So yeah, y'all have a good one.